What's up everyone, this is Tony with JRNYcrypto. This video is just going to be a quick update on the crypto markets and some more data I did come across that does show we're only about halfway through this current bull market, and we could be looking at new Bitcoin all-time highs of 70 to 80,000 in the next couple months here. I do believe we are in a cool-off phase though, and we could be seeing some more volatility. So before we started, I do appreciate if you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the bell to be notified when I make new crypto videos. Alright guys, so the markets are looking pretty stable today after we did have that bounce yesterday in market recovery. So I know a lot of people are waiting on the sidelines right now. They're not jumping back in. They do think this could be a fake out or a dead cat bounce. In the short term, this is very possible. There could be more FUD and bad news that does cause further panic and another crash. So even if we do see more volatility, we do have major support for Bitcoin in the low 30,000s now. Personally, if we do go that low, I will be dollar cost averaging and picking up the dips every week or so when we do have them. It is looking like we are going to be on a recovery here though. We do have consensus going on right now. We could have some major announcements coming out of this. We already had a couple pretty big announcements here. Ray Dalio, I have some Bitcoin. So he is one of the speakers at Consensus along with a couple other major speakers. This is going on for the next couple days. So I do believe we're only about halfway through this current bull market. I did come across something today I do want to share with you guys. So this is the days from the previous halving. So in May of 2020, we did have the third Bitcoin halving, which is very important. This does reduce the amount of Bitcoins that are generated as rewards for mining, which means less Bitcoin coming into circulation. As demand is rising, so does scarcity for Bitcoin. So the orange line here is the second halving that we had in 2016. So where we are right now is in this current dip here. So as you guys can notice, these two dips pretty much line up perfectly together. So if history does repeat, we will be having a couple more major crashes. But in general, the crypto space should be moving upwards towards the end of 2021. And if this does follow exactly the same, the peak of this current bull market will be around the end of October sometime, or even in November. Of course, this is not going to repeat exactly, even though these last couple dips here were pretty much spot on. So I do think it's very important we look at history and we understand what's possible for the future. Of course, things are never going to be exactly the same, but it does give us an idea of what is possible. So we do have major institutions and mass adoption happening in general this time around, but we do have to consider the last bull market was nowhere close to as prepared for mass adoption as this one, and the last bull market was only in the billions while this one is in the trillions. So this current dip that we're having here, I did a post about this 1 year after the second Bitcoin halving. The market crashed from around 120 billion to 60 billion, which is a 50% correction, and then peaked out over 800 billion 5 months later. From that low, that's over a 10x. I don't think a 10x from this current low of 1.3 trillion is as likely, because that's a lot more money coming into the markets. But we do have to consider it is very likely that the bull market is not over. So right now we are 1 year after the third Bitcoin halving and peaked out at 2.5 trillion and crashed to 1.3 trillion. Again, around a 50% correction there. So history has basically repeated itself. Exactly 1 year after the halving, we do peak out and then have a major market correction. So if history does repeat itself, we should be seeing the peak of this current bull market around October, November here. And then we should be seeing over a 10 trillion crypto global market cap. Of course, this can be less or more. It's not going to be exactly the same, like I did state, but I do believe history will somewhat repeat itself, and we will be peaking out somewhere 5 to 8 months out here. Once more institutional adoption comes in and everything. So we have to consider what type of manipulation is taking advantage of this current market dip here. We did have that Wyckoff distribution event that lined up perfectly with the current Bitcoin chart, as well as the China FUD, Elon Musk, and everything else that just happened all at once, caused major panic in the space and shook out all the new weak hands. So a lot of new people did get in from Dogecoin and all the meme coin hype, and I do believe a majority of these people have sold and left the markets. So this is why I just do dollar cost averaging, and I buy major market dips and crashes, and I really just try to accumulate for the very long term. I'm not looking at this for short-term profits really, even though I'm staking and I do make flips with small percents of my portfolio. I never sell my entire portfolio, even if I do have data like this that does suggest we are very likely to have a 50% correction, because history does not always repeat itself, and I don't want to take that major of a risk and lose all my cryptocurrency, have to buy in at a premium, and then not have as much profit when the real peak of the bull market does come around. So as we can see, if it does repeat itself, we will be seeing another market crash here, which will line up in August, September sometime. And we will be seeing new Bitcoin all-time highs in the next 1 to 2 months, probably around $70,000 to $80,000. And that 4chan post that we did see that did call out the crash going down to $30,000 Bitcoin did say we would quickly recover and break new Bitcoin all-time highs of around $70,000. So a very interesting thread was posted today on Twitter about market manipulation and just how easy it is to manipulate the markets, especially back in 2016 before the last bull run. Definitely much easier to manipulate those markets with some FUD and bad news. As you guys saw this time around, it's still very easily Elon Musk crashing markets with just a few tweets, and then of course other manipulation kicked in at the same time. It was just the perfect storm for a major market correction, which did happen before the peak of the last bull run as well. So basically they're saying, say you're a fund wanting exposure to Bitcoin, but think you missed the optimal entry. If only there was a dip you could enter in, cue us. So we're going to crash the markets to allow you to scoop up cheap sats. Step 1 is the groundwork. They pay several low-tier media outlets to publish bearish news, but not promote it on their channels. It just sits for now. Step 2, they pay several contributors to Bloomberg, Forbes, and other major websites to publish hot takes on the story, citing the article. They even posted a list here on crypto news websites that take sponsored content like this and allow you to post articles and their fees. So pretty crazy here. If you guys do want to check this out and read through the whole thread, it is shared on my Twitter account at JRNYcrypto. There's also links to my social pages in the video description below. So some other posts on Twitter here that does support that we're currently in a bear trap before the real peak of this bull market. Of course, this is just my opinion. I do think many people in the crypto space have this same opinion though. So this is a NASDAQ index.com bubble, which did have a huge major sell-off and a bear trap as well. And we did have the same thing in the last bull market when Bitcoin had a major dip. So we're currently in the awareness phase at the beginning of institutional adoption, which I do agree with. We barely had any companies really buy Bitcoin to hold on their balance sheet yet, like Tesla and MicroStrategy. I do believe a lot more tech companies will be buying Bitcoin in this market crash that we will be finding out about at the beginning of Q3. So another post here showing 3 major market corrections before we really had the 300% rally for Bitcoin. So we do have to consider that there's going to be market manipulation, there's going to be people taking profits, which is normal. And personally, I would take small profits along the way as well to buy these major market corrections. Of course, each time we have a market correction, it's going to be higher than the previous one and have higher lows. And then after the peak of the actual bull market, we are going to have a major correction as well. So another post here that does align with this does show we're in the first major sell-off, just like the first post I showed you, in the awareness phase of institutional adoption. And then we have the stock to flow model showing we're still pretty early to the bull market as well. If history does repeat itself, we will be peaking out here well above the stock to flow line and well over $100,000 to $200,000 Bitcoin. Some people even saying a $300,000 Bitcoin still, and that would align for October, November, like I did state. And then we should still have a couple more major market corrections along the way, leading up to end of 2021. Of course, this is just if history repeats itself. I don't think it's going to repeat exactly. So that's it for today's market update. I hope you guys found it useful. I did want to share this with you guys because I thought it was very interesting how this lined up exactly for both market corrections so far. Basically, this current market correction overlapping the previous one exactly, with a lot of organized FUD and everything. So I do believe we're in a cool off phase. We could go sideways for a while, but overall in the next couple months, I do see Bitcoin breaking all-time highs of 70 to 80,000. Of course, this is just my opinion. Do not take this as investment advice. That is not what this is. I'm getting a lot of comments that are taking it like that, and basically blaming me. A lot of people even saying the bull market is over and I'm misleading people. If you believe this, that is fine. You could sell your crypto and leave, but spreading toxicity and trying to convince others to sell as well is just not the way forward, in my opinion. The crypto space is one of the most innovative things right now, and the fundamentals are only rising, which means over time the prices of cryptos will rise as well. It is not going away. We have mass adoption in general. Banks are getting into cryptos now. We have Visa and MasterCard doing services. Even JP Morgan and Morgan Stanley said they would be doing crypto services once there's more demand, which I'm sure is going to be what really ignites this peak here. So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys found it useful. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for my daily crypto videos, and share this video on social media or with friends and family that you think would also find this useful. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video.